Here's how to make a full-page, semi-transparent animated overlay with sound that I'm making primarily in Keynote with a little bit of help from Canva and a little bit of help from Epidemic Sound and a little bit of help from one conversion spot on the internet, using it to make an automated overlay that I'm using in Ecamm Live, the software that I use to go live and make videos like this one. And this is what I'm going to show you how to make. Shameless plug. Fully admit it. Let's get at it. This is Keynote, which comes free on a Mac. Ecamm Live, the software that I'm using to make this, is also Mac only. So this is kind of a Mac only kind of a thing. Probably if you're watching this, you probably already know that and are on a Mac. You can probably make the same animated overlay in PowerPoint. This is what this is going to look like. Yes. No reason to put a pop-up in there. So I've already made it, but now we're going to make it again. So, new slide. Get rid of those guys. Now we got a blank screen, and then we're going to want to load up a couple things. I've already downloaded the 4 subs that I want. What I did in Canva was I just went in and I searched for subs and I just picked graphics, and it gave me a lot of just silly graphic subs. Reminded me a little bit of where's SpongeBob SquarePants, but no, just no. But I already downloaded them. What I did was I created a page for each submarine and just made it as big as on the page that I chose to make it. You can make it about any size. It doesn't really matter. And then when I downloaded it, I chose PNG, and I was sure to check transparent background. And so they came with a transparent background, and that's what I'm using. Also, the underwater effect is a video that I got on Canva. It was 22 seconds long, but if you create it as a video in Canva, you can cut down the size. So I cut this down to 12 seconds. So we'll start with that. So underwater, 12 seconds, drag that in. There it is. And while I'm here, I'm going to pull in all 4 submarines right there. Now, one thing I'm going to do right off the front end is I'm clicking on the water. And I want to make it transparent or semi-transparent so that you can be seen from behind all of this, which is what I showed you. When I click on the water, I want to go to Format. I've got Opacity. And I'm going to drop that down to 35. What I showed you previously was 40, but I thought it was just a little too dark still. So I'm going to go down to 35. So that just makes it a little bit, remember the background right here initially is white. So now I've got 4 subs, and I don't want them that big. That's pretty big subs. So I'm going to dial them down a little bit, and I want to make them all the same size as best I can. They're subs. I know there's variations on the theme here. You may be thinking yellow submarine. There we go. And we can put them anywhere we want to, off the screen. So I'm going to put that one down here, just off the screen. This one I'm going to put over here. And because I'm going to make it go a different way, I'm going to turn this around. So I'm going to go to Arrange up here and come down to Flip. And I'm going to flip horizontally. And that flip that the other way. And just get it a little bit off screen. This guy we're going to put up here, just off screen. And this guy, if you'll notice, when I did this in the one I showed you, I had him upside down. So I'm going to flip him so that he's pointed the other way, heading toward the left, and I'm going to flip him upside down just because. So I've got the water, I've got 4 subs ready to float across the screen, but we are missing something. We need text. Now, right up here at the top, you see text, and when I click on that, it's going to drop something down right in the middle that's really, really small. That's 24 point. And because it's already highlighted, I'm going to go over here and choose a different font. I'm going to choose Luckiest Guy, and I'm going to choose for the size 325. That makes it big. So I click on there, and it just gives me the flashing, so now I can put in more subs. Great. That's what I'm looking for. Now I want an order to all of these, and I'm going to animate all of them. And there's an option way up here, animate. And whatever I'm clicking on more subs. So it's going to give me, I'm talking about animating just more subs right now. That's all I'm doing. But if I click on the water, that's going to be the first animation. Down here at the bottom, you'll see something called build order. That just opens another window. There it is. And underwater is already the first one, and it's just start movie. So the next one is going to be more subs. Right now, water is at the very back. If you're thinking about layers, water is at the back. The next one is going to be more subs. And I'm going to do a build-in, click an effect, and we're going to do make it blinds, where it comes in blinds. And we can do right to left. I'm going to do top to bottom. And we're going to try that again to see what it looks like. That'll work. And it'll take an entire second to do that. That you can see right over there, the duration and direction. I chose top to bottom, and I chose 1 second. We're going to want that to come in and start doing its thing right on the front end. We're going to take more and move it up so that it connects. Now they're together. You see that? When I click on more, these are called builds, and they're numbered. I'm going to do with build 1. So when the water starts, more starts right away. It didn't wait for the water to finish doing the water thing before build starts. So with build 1 is what I'm looking at doing, what you're looking at doing. For the fun things, we want the subs to come in. So we're going to start moving the subs around, putting some animation to them. I'm going to click on the one on the lower right-hand side, go up here, and instead of build in or build out, I want an action. I want to add an effect, and I want it to move. And if you look down there, there's a red line. Right now, it's going to move from the left to the right. That's not much of a move. That's why we take and grab the second one and choose the destination. That is the path that this one is going to move on. And we're going to have it, when we come back over here, we're going to grab sub 1, which we just did, move it so that it connects with the one above it. You'll see down at the bottom, it says after build 2. And that's what we want it to do. We want it to automatically go after build 2. So as soon as the more subs stops shaking, this guy's going to move. And I want to point something out right now. There's a delay. We don't want it to delay. We want it to get right at it, to move. And there's something else about here. The acceleration, it says ease in and out. I don't want it to do that. Maybe you do, so I choose none. So it's just going to take off. So if we look at this, we can go down to the build order, press preview. Boom, there goes that sub. Now you'll notice that the sub went behind the words. We're going to maybe fix that in just a minute. Maybe. Or maybe I want to emphasize more subs. Shameless, I know. Second one, same thing. Action. Add an event. Move. You notice that it put it behind it. So that's the one we want to move. We want to grab this guy. Move him up here where he's kind of out of the way. That's the second one. Third one, we're going to do the exact same thing. Action, move. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't do ease in and out and make it none on the other one. We're going to do this one after build 4. And we're going to grab it and move it over here, just off screen. And then finally, we're going to move the fourth one. Action, move, ease in and out. Select that to none. Grab the one that was created. And he's upside down, so he's sinking. Let's just put it that way. He's just having a hard time. And again, we grab that so that it moves. Now, there's one we didn't change on the ease in and out. I believe it was sub 2. See where that was. Change that to none. Now, all of them have none. Now, if I play all of this together, and all of them are after each other, sub 1, after build 2, sub 1, after. Let's see what it looks like. They are skipping right along. We could put a delay on any one of them of half a second or a second or up to 10 seconds where you just sit there and it does nothing. It waits 10 seconds and then the next one comes in. I don't know that we have to do that here. I really don't, because they're just flying through. The more is still on top. Now we can change that, not right here, but we change that by creating the order. And it's not an animation, it's where it is. So we go back to format from animation, up in your upper right-hand side, format. We can send it right to the very back and put it behind the water so that the water is engulfing everything. That's not a bad idea. As a matter of fact, if we take the water, right now the subs are going in front of the water. The subs are supposed to be in the water. So if we take and click on the water and go move it right to the front, everything is going to be behind it now. Water was set on click. If you go down again to this, I've got water selected. We don't want it on click. We want it after transition. We want it to start immediately. And we'll just take a look at more. And it's got width. We're all set. Right now it looks like this. And you may be thinking at this point, why isn't the water doing the water thing? That's okay. It'll be okay. We're going to add a little bit of sound. And I had a sound of pings, like sonar. I have that in the folder with all the other assets that I've got. I'm going to drag it on, just hold it there. And that's going to become, where does it start? Well, I want to take that and drag it up to right under where there's, so the first thing is water, the second thing is sound. And I want the pings to start with build 1, which is the underwater. Now there's a couple other things that you may have noticed in the original, and that was when it was done, the more was left, basically. So we want to go back to animate, and we've got more. It's not a build in, it's not an action, it's a build out. So we want to do a build out, and we want it to fly out. And we want it to go from top to the bottom. Not on a click, but after the last build, which is the last sub. After the last sub, we want that to happen. Boom. That looks good. We also want the water. We want that to go away as well. So we go to build out, add an effect, move out, We want it to move top to bottom, and we don't want it to bounce. And we don't want that on click. We want that with the more going away, not after, but with. I suppose we could do after, but we'll do it with. Let's see what it looks like now. We could actually take more because more is taking its time. We could actually do the water and put a 1 second delay on it. Let's try that. That works. Maybe less, maybe 0.8. Let's leave it at 0.8. So we've got 9 animations going on here. The sound, everything else. And you're saying, why can't I hear the sound? There it is. I had 4 pings for 4 submarines. And we've got this. I'm going to get rid of that. I've got to make sure that we've got this. We'll go back to format. We'll look at the style. It's at 35%, so that you can be seen through. And everything is behind the water. The water, when we look at a range, the water is on the very front. I'm going to make a change that will help slow things down a little bit. Those subs went through just quite a bit. Sub 1 is fine. It's going to go through. But sub 2, instead of going after build 4, which is right above it, I'm going to go with build 4 and put a delay on there of 1.5 seconds. Then I'm going to go to the one just below it. I'm using sub 4 now. And I'm going to put with the build 4 and put maybe a 2 second. And I'm going to take the final sub and put a delay on it. I'm going to put with build 4. You're saying, why build 4, not build 6? Well, number 5 is doing, build 5 is with build 4, which makes 6 go with build 4 and 7 with build 4. So, and then that will put a delay of maybe half. And now let's see what happens. Kind of slows them down a little bit instead of all just jumping in at each other. Now that we've got that figured out, one thing we need to do and need to make sure of is if you click away from everything, once you're in format, you click away from everything and you see fill color. We want that fill color to be no fill. As long as it's no fill, then you'll have some transparency, that 35%, down to 35% transparency. And that's where you saw it go dark. Now we're going to export it. File, export, movie. And so it's selected as a movie, self-playing, slides all. No, just slide 4. You want to take off the delay where it says 5. If you have it preset to 0, that's great. But if you don't, make sure it's at 0. I have it set at 24 frames per second. I suppose I could go up to 60 frames per second, but why would anybody do that and really double the size? Make sure that the export with transparent background is checked, which is kind of important. It's kind of what we're doing. And we're going to call this more subs final 2, because I've done this a lot of times, apparently. And I'm just going to save it to the desktop so I can find it among the 75 other files that are on my desktop. Don't judge me. Now I'm going to take it and convert it, but I'm not going to show that conversion. I'm going to convert it from a MOV file, which is the default for Keynote. I'm going to convert it from that to a WebM. And we're doing that because We want the sound to be in our final product so that we can hear it when we load it into Ecamm. Done that, I'm going to take it from where I downloaded it. So I'm going to pull this into Ecamm and see how it works. And there's that fourth ping. Maybe I could have sped the pings up a little bit, but you get the idea. That's how it's done. Shameless plug. Hey, if you want more subs, just talk about it or make an animation about it. Thanks for watching. My name's Bill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Everybody loves more subs, and I want you to make yourself a home on YouTube.